Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopijana Vallabha Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jayam Sri Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivraja Kacharya Ashtatara Shatashi Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charnarinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada Ki Grandhara Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Samaveda Gaura Bhaktarinda Ki Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from the book Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 1, Observing the Armies. Text number 21-22. All of you will be able to recite after me. Okay. Huh? You want that connection? Phone. Otherwise, you take this book. I have. No, you take this book. I have on my laptop. I already opened. No problem. Yeah. Okay. Arjuna Uvacha. Senayorubayormadhye Ratam Stapayamechyuta Yavadeta niriksheham Yoddhukamanavasthitan Kairmaya saha yoddhavyam Asmin ranasamudyame Arjuna Uvacha Senayorubayormadhye Ratam Stapayamechyuta Yavadeta niriksheham Yoddhukamanavasthitan Kairmaya saha yoddhavyam Asmin ranasamudyame. Anyone would like to recite?
Arjuna Vacha Senayorubayormadhye Ratham Stapayame
Chuta
Yavadeta niriksheham
Yoddhukamanavasthitan Kairmaya saha yoddhavyam Asmin ranasamudyame. Any Matajis? Arjuna Vacha Senayorubayormadhye Ratam Stapayamechyuta Yavadeta niriksheham Yoddhukamanavasthitan Kairmaya saha yoddhavyam Asmin ranasamudyame. What word translation? Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charnaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Arjuna Vacha. Arjuna said, Senayoho of the armies, Ubayoho, both, Madhye, between Ratham, the chariot. Stapaya, please keep me, mine, Achyuta, O infallible one, Yavat, as long as. Etan, all these, Nirikshe, may look upon. Aham, I, Yodukhaman, desiring to fight. Avastithan, arrayed on the battlefield. Kaihi, with whom, Maya, by me. Saha, all together. Yodhavyam, have to fight. Asmin, in this. Rana, strife. Samudyame, in the attempt. Translation. Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies, so that I may see those present here who desire to fight, and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. Purport. Although Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, out of His causeless mercy, He was engaged in the service of His friend. He never fails in His affection for His devotees, and thus He is addressed herein as infallible. As charioteer, he had to carry out the orders of Arjuna, and since he did not hesitate to do so, he is addressed as infallible, although he had accepted the position of a charioteer for his devotee. His supreme position was not challenged. In all circumstances, he is the supreme personality of Godhead, Rishikesha, the Lord of the total senses. The relationship between the Lord and his servitor is very sweet and transcendental. The servitor is always ready to render service to the Lord, and similarly, the Lord is always seeking an opportunity to render some service to the devotee. He takes greater pleasure in his pure devotees assuming the advantageous position of ordering him than he does in being the giver of orders. Since he is master, everyone is under his orders, and no one is above him to order him. But when he finds that a pure devotee is ordering him, he obtains transcendental pleasure, although he is the infallible master in all circumstances. As a pure devotee of the Lord, Arjuna had no desire to fight with his cousins and brothers, but he was forced to come onto the battlefield by the obstinacy of Duryodhana, who was never agreeable to any peaceful negotiation. Therefore, he was very anxious to see who the leading persons present on the battlefield were. Although there was no question of a peacemaking endeavor on the battlefield, he wanted to see them again and to see how much they were bent upon demanding an unwanted war. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, welcome you all for the evening Bhagavad Gita session. Very happy to be among all of you. With all your blessings, we will discuss this shloka today. So, one of our acharyas, Srila Rupa Goswami, he says very wonderful thing about devotional service. So, we are all bound in the material world. All of us are Atma, spirit souls, bound in this material body. So, in the morning I was hearing a lecture. So, that Prabhuji was saying that No, just like a criminal when he goes to a jail, he's born in that jail. So when he's born in the jail, what happens is conditioned by the rules of that jail. He can't behave independently. So similarly, we may feel independent, but Atma is bound in this material body. So he says, how even while within being this material world also, we can be liberated from the clutches of the material nature. He says, Iha yasya hare dasya karmana manasagira nikila swatya avasthasu jivan mukta sauchate. So we are all born. So he says a very wonderful thing that how while being in this material world we can be liberated. He says, Iha yasya hare dasya karmana manasagira. What are the three things we should engage in? Hare service, Hari service, Krishna service, karmana, our activities, manasa, our mind, gira, speech in Krishna's service. Then what happens if we engage every day in all these three things in Krishna's service? Nikila Swapi Avasthasu Jivan Mukta Sauchate. Even while staying in this body also, we can be liberated. So when we get an opportunity to speak, this is the reason why we speak on Krishna's topics. Because otherwise what happens? Speech, what is the one of the activity of the tongue? Two activities. Whenever opportunity we get, we keep on feeding our mouth. And other thing is we keep on speaking blah blah blah. So many things we speak. But the thing is the same speech which is going to bond us, the same speech will liberate us. What is that? Rupa Goswami is giving that formula. By engaging the speech in Krishna's service along with others also, activities and the mind, we can be liberated in this while being in this material body. This is something wonderful. We need not even go back to home, back to Godhead for attaining that state. So how that happens? Just like all of you must have seen the coconut shell. The coconut shell, when it becomes ripened, what happens? It separates from the shell. So like that, Atma, even while being bound in this material body, it completely gets separated from the clutches of the loss of this material nature. So this is a wonderful formula. So with that spirit, so I'm also trying to present the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. See, Bhagavad Gita is very sweet. First of all, we need to understand why the name Bhagavad Gita is given to this wonderful book. So, like, I am speaking. When I am speaking, it is not so sweet. I am like, it's some conversation or some sound. Of course, what I am speaking, even though I may not be transcendental, the sound, the vibration is a transcendental sound vibration because the pure sound. But why my conversation is not Gita? But why conversation between Krishna and Arjuna is Gita? Have you ever thought about it? So Gita means what? Like being like I am from Andhra Pradesh background, I know Telugu because many of the Sanskrit words we also have in Telugu. Same. Exactly. Gita means Gita. So Gita is a song of God. And who is that God? God is Krishna. Why? Because he is not singing any songs in this book Bhagavad Gita. But it is interesting. When he is speaking, it is song. When I am speaking, it is not song. It is some normal conversation. Why? Actually, I thought about this, but later I understood this from Brahma Samhita. It says, Katha Ganam Natyam. So this in Brahma Samhita, Brahmaji sings this prayer. When Krishna speaks, it is like a song. When Krishna walks, it's like a dance. So that's why Krishna never, it's normal posture. He's always in a three-bending posture. Barha Pidam Natavar Vapukarnayo Karnikaram Vibradvasa Kanaka Kapisham Vaijayantim Chamal. Is like, this is something about Krishna. So because he's God, is Krishna, he speaks means it's song. That's why you see when we are reciting Bhagavad Gita verses, it is so sweet. In 10th canto it is said, Manobhiramat. When we hear about the holy names of Krishna, when we recite the verses of Bhagavad Gita, it is very, very pleasing. Manobhiramat. Pleasing to the mind and pleasing to the ear. So that's why our life should be dedicated for repeating this message, hearing this message. Every moment of our day should go while remembering this great message. This is not some message what happens like in all our scientific books every day, every year It happens like, while we are doing our MTech thesis, what happens? Someone proposes some theory, and later in the next year, someone comes and then changes, this is wrong, or this is updated version of it. But there is no version 2 of Bhagavad Gita. So that's why it's very interesting. So what is the purpose of chapter 1 Bhagavad Gita? It's like many people skip this chapter, first chapter. But this first chapter title is given very interesting way. Srila Prabhupada has given the title Observing the Armies on the Battlefield. But technically, if you see the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter name is given as Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Means yoga of Arjuna's yoga of despair. That means he has lost his hope. In the first chapter, he completely loses his hope. So, but our Acharya Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given the title Sainya Darshana Yoga. So, what is that? Sainya Darshana Yoga. So, same name. Whatever Srila Prabhupada has taken is a name given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That's why Sainya Darshana. Darshana means in Telugu also same. Darshana means observing. We observe. So, observing the armies on the battlefield. Each chapter title given by Srila Prabhupada is very, very significant. Just by meditating on the title of the chapter, we get lot of understanding. So, because in our life also we observe so many things, is it not? We observe every day, every moment we are observing something or other thing. So, in this battlefield of Kurukshetra, what happened? Who are all observing? Like, no, Kauravas have assembled, Pandavas have assembled, and along with Pandavas, Krishna is there. So now Kauravas are also observing, Pandavas are also observing, Krishna is also observing. So, but when Arjuna observed the battlefield, what he felt? He saw his family members, like all the Kauravas. He saw his teacher, Dronacharya. He saw his grandfather, Bhishma, and he felt morose and decided not to fight. And whereas Duryodhana, he saw the army and is assessing the army. How great my army is, how great the army of Pandavas, and how I can, like, is even little bit, not in a scolding way, as a king is saying to Bhishma and Drona, you made a mistake. You have taught Drushtadumna, but he is pointing out the mistake and is assessing how to win over the battle and establish his kingdom. But Krishna is also observing. So Duryodhana is also observing, Arjuna is also observing, Krishna is also observing. But all of their experiences are different. So similarly, the situation may be same. A devotee observes, non-devotee observes, atheist observes, even Krishna also observes. Everyone is observing, because through observation we acquire knowledge. And our emotions also depends based on our vision. So Arjuna became morose, Duryodhana planning to, thinking for victory. Krishna is observing in a way. So what is Krishna's vision? Krishna wanted Arjuna to observe like Krishna. Because Arjuna is not observing like Krishna, Arjuna is morose. But Krishna is not morose. You are getting right? So that's why this first chapter, he says, actually the rest of the chapters are for this purpose. So he wants Arjuna to also observe like himself. Then what will happen? If he observes like himself, then obviously we know, right? If we can see like Krishna, then our vision is not like I am seeing all of you. I will no more see you as a material body. I will see you as a Atma, born in the material body. And I see everyone connected with God. And there will no more be illusion. He says, my illusion gone after hearing Bhagavad Gita. So, observing the armies in the battlefield is a great significance that. So, Krishna wants all of us to observe like Krishna. So, not only living entities, when we observe the material nature. So Krishna, when he sees the material nature, he doesn't see in a way that he wants to enjoy the material nature. He is very aloof from it. So, but when I see, when all of us see, when all the conditioned living entities see, what is our vision? We see how I can enjoy that spirit. So it's a completely different vision. So through the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna wants all of us to have the vision like himself. So what happens when we also see like have vision like Krishna, our vision completely changes and we will no more be in illusion. So like that. So very nice shloka. This shloka, many words like because I am from Andhra, right? So many words are very simple. Sena, Sena we also call Sena. Sena means army. Ubayaha. Ubaya means both sides. Because Arjuna is telling that both sides armies are madhye. So you take me in between. Why in between? Because he wants to see. Because if I am at the back, I cannot see. Huh? Because it's a conversation, right? It can't be some theoretical imaginary words, right? Is practically saying I want to see. And Ratham, what he wants to be moved? Ratham means chariot. We have also in ISKCON Rathayatra. Rathayatra means the festival of chariots. So earlier the mode of commute is the by chariot. Stapaya means what is saying? Please keep me, my Achyuta. So he's addressing Krishna. You see, Sanskrit is a very beautiful language. That's why it's called language of the demigods. Yavad. So like that is saying that you take me in the middle of the battlefield. I want to see. So the beauty of Bhagavad Gita is many people they wants to remove Krishna out of Bhagavad Gita. Many people, many commentaries are there. One time, one lady asked Srila Prabhupada, there are so many commentaries of Bhagavad Gita, which commentary I should refer? Because many of the commentaries either take managerial principles from Bhagavad Gita, some people even take doctoral principles from Bhagavad Gita, or so many so different kinds of principles. But the thing is, all of them are without Krishna. So that will not work. Without Krishna, even if you learn so much from Bhagavad Gita, there will not be any transformation. Even maybe you may get some principles, but the center of Bhagavad Gita is Krishna. Because you see, first chapter itself is saying he wants everyone to have the vision like him. So center of Bhagavad Gita is Krishna. So important thing in first chapter Bhagavad Gita is there are so many Lord Krishna's names. Like for example, in this, what name is given for Lord Krishna? Achyuta. In the previous shloka, Rishikesha. Rishikesha means controller of the senses. Our senses are all uncontrolled. If we want to have a control over the senses, we should take shelter of the Rishikesha, Supreme Lord Krishna. How much ever we try, our senses are like venomous serpents. They always trying to give poison. So we through the senses we are trying to acquire happiness, but that will give poison. But the best way to control our senses is by surrendering to Rishikesha, controller of the senses. Achyuta means infallible. We will discuss on the infallible, and there are other names like Madhava, goddess of the fortune, and then Keshava. Keshava has two meanings also, killer of the demon Keshi, and then one who keeps even Lord Shiva, Ka plus Isha plus Va. One who keeps Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma also under illusion. Even Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva also gets bewildered by Lord Krishna's activities. I'm not discussing, but there are so many pastimes. Mohini pastime where Lord Shiva got bewildered, and Brahma Vimohan Lila where Brahmaji got bewildered. So even Krishna's pastimes no one can understand. Even Brahma, Shiva also gets bewildered. So that's the reason to understand Bhagavad Gita. What is very important? One should become a devotee of Lord Krishna. Without becoming a devotee of Lord Krishna, one can never understand Bhagavad Gita. Krishna himself says, Bhaktosi me sakacheti rahasyam hetad uttamam. This is a great secret, topmost secret. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. Paramam Idam Uttamam. So it's a great secret. Even though you have Bhagavad Gita with you, You will not be able to understand. And it's my practical experience. When I came in touch with Krishna consciousness movement, I also started reading. But we need a teacher, we need a guide. Just like we go to a college or school with the guidance of a teacher, how do we learn our material subjects? Similarly, we also require a teacher. Without a teacher, without a guide, without a devotee's guidance, we can never understand Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because Krishna himself is saying, Bhakto se me sakha chaiti. We need to become a devotee. And how to become a devotee? Don't know. So we require a guidance. That's why we should come regularly, be in touch with devotees, learn from them. I have learned from my teacher and I am presenting. And he learned from his teacher. We have a Guru Shishya Parampara, and our original founder Acharya, from whose teachings only we are repeating. Is our original mentor, is the teacher for all of us. So by connecting with his message, all of you can also learn this message properly. So every word, every word has a great significance. Every word in the Bhagavad Gita has a great significance. See, when Krishna, like when Arjuna is addressing, Krishna is Achyuta, Krishna is Rishikesha, Krishna is Madhava, Krishna is Keshava. In different contexts, he is using different names. In this case, he is saying that I am fallen. Achyuta means infallible. Chuta means fallible. Means one who falls down into the clutches of the material nature. See, originally, I don't belong to the material nature. I, as an Atma, as a Brahman, do not belong to this material nature. But when I came in touch from the transcendental nature to the material nature, immediately I was captured by the material nature. And what happens? The spirit of enjoyment immediately conquers us. So this is something alien. We all of us know aliens, right? It's very popular, especially in the internet. When word of alien comes, everyone says. Of course, we know there are living beings outside this planetary system also, but uh, spirit of enjoyment is alien to us. Actually, I am part and parcel of Krishna. Mamai vamsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manashashtan indriyani prakritistani karshati. I am part and parcel of Krishna. Being a part and parcel of Krishna, I meant for the enjoyment of God, Krishna. One who understands this secret is a great intelligent person. So, what happens? Our job is to cooperate with Krishna for his enjoyment. So, because we are not doing, we are chuta, we are fallen. Just like Prabhupada gives a one nice analogy in one of the examples. So, I already told this in the beginning. Just like a man, when he's because of police custody, when he kept in a jail, is a criminal. Is he fallen or not? He is fallen from his good citizenship. So this is fallen. So we are all of us are fallen into the material world, into the clutches of this material nature. So now we have spirit of enjoyment. But Lord Krishna, who is Achyuta, is infallible. He never falls under the influence of the material nature. Otherwise, if he also like us, if he is also like Chuta, like us, the message given by him is not significant. You see, if you see, right, there are so many conference papers, IEEE, so many conferences are like Institute of Electrical and Electronics, like this, so many conferences are there. So many papers are published. No, hardly no one knows. And it's no value is there for them. But Krishna's message, even though it was spoken billions and billions of years ago, of course, no modern scientists, they don't believe much before 2000 years or much before that. Everything, Big Bang theory, it's suddenly some Big Bang happened. But we know from Bhagavad Gita, this message of Bhagavad Gita spoken by Lord Krishna to first Sun God many billions of years ago. And from that time onwards, nothing is changed. If he is also Chuta, is also fallible like us, his message will not have any significance. That's why Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Achyuta. Of course, there is a great reason why Arjuna is addressing Krishna as a Achyuta. I will explain that. So, but in short, God is infallible. God is not like one of us. There is a popular saying that in the world, in the society, it goes that you are God, I am God, everyone is a God. This is actually, as per Prabhupada, it's a rascal concept, nonsense. So none of us can be God. Because by nature Krishna is infallible, we are fallible. Huh? So this we need to keep. If anyone says, you can become God, I can become God, so we need not believe that theory. That's a simple theory only. So Prabhupada also says that we remain fallen till the time we don't serve Krishna. So the moment we agree to serve Krishna, we also achieve the position of Achyuta position, not Achyuta. But if we deny to serve Krishna, we become Vichyuta. So very nice, huh? Opposite. We have antonyms, right? Just like the Sanskrit also. Achyuta, we become Vichyuta, Vichyuta position. So you see, our scriptures, Vedic scriptures are very wonderful. Why? In all the other scriptures, just like in Andhra Pradesh, in Kerala, there's a rampant conversion from Vedic culture. Of course, people they call themselves as the Hindus, but there's a huge conversion happening into the other faiths. So we call faith Christianity, even Hindu, Muslim. These are all faiths only. Faith, one can change the faith, but not the dharma. So our Vedic literatures are so profound. It gives us idea what is the nature of God, who is God, where does he stay, what is his names. So why and what does he do? What are his activities? You see, this all of you have seen this book Bhagavad Gita, right? So here, Krishna is became the chariot driver of Arjuna. Have you ever thought that generally the concept of God means controller? Controller means what? Is always wants to control. Is it right? Like I am working in an organization, CEO. Like we have a hierarchy until CEO, Chief Executive Officer, and above him, Chairman and the Board of Directors. Have you ever seen they coming and serving the least employee? Has it ever happened like that? But the concept given in the Vedic literatures is so wonderful that God, Krishna, becoming the servant of his servant. So Arjuna is a servant of Krishna, is a devotee of Krishna. But God became servant of Arjuna. This is the beauty of the Vedic literatures, is giving higher concepts of the God. Generally, God means supreme controller. People become fearful of the God because they indulge in sinful activities, they naturally become fearful. But here, Arjuna is ordering Krishna. What is he doing? Arjuna ordering Krishna. See, battlefield, right? Like even if now that war is happening, Ukraine versus Russia war, how much tension will be there? Do you think one will be able to hear the sound so clearly what's happening? So in that battlefield, Arjuna is saying go right, go left. How? Even is ordering, not through hands also, even through his legs also, he is indicating Krishna. So you see, when one becomes a devotee of Krishna, Krishna also becomes eager to serve his devotees. This is the beauty of our Vedic literatures, Bhagavad Gita. This is the message is given. Krishna is becoming eager to serve his devotees. So that does not mean he is becoming inferior in his position as a god. No, Krishna himself is declaring, even though he is chariot driver of Arjuna, but he is himself claiming that Matta Parataram Nanyat Kinchit Aschit Dhananjaya Mai Sarvam Idam Prutam Sutre Maniganayu. No one is superior than me or equal to me. So just becoming a chariot driver. Actually, chariot driver is a very insignificant job. Driver. Even now also becoming a Ola driver, Rapido driver. No, it's not so prestigious job in the society. And that time, becoming a chariot driver is not something. It's not superior. But just for serving his devotees, God, Krishna accepted this service. But that does not mean God has become less significant in his position. So he's claiming that. That's why when Arjuna is saying, Oh Achyuta, even though you accepted the position of my chariot driver, you are not fallen. You are infallible. So now he's telling that, Oh Krishna, actually I cannot order you. Because you have promised me to become my chariot driver, I am requesting you to please take my chariot, O Achyuta. So you never fail to fulfill your promise. What is the promise given by Krishna to Arjuna? He is saying that I become your chariot driver, and he never fails to become promise. I may fail when I say something. I may fail in fulfilling my words, but Krishna never fails to fulfill his promise. And Krishna is promising, Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Kaunteya Pratijanehi Name Bhakta Pranashyati. My devotees will never perish. Of course, he is not promising, he is saying to Arjuna, you promise on my behalf. So you see how wonderful it is to become a devotee of Lord Krishna. Just by becoming a devotee of Lord Krishna, so we know what happens. We all try for so much securing our lives. We try to accumulate wealth, we try to have insurance, this, that, so many things just for our security. But if you become a devotee of Lord Krishna, all security is guaranteed. Of course, I am not saying you need not opt for it, but the thing is, how much ever you do, there's no security to your life. Even Prahlad Maharaj says in Srimad Bhagavatam, Balasya neha sharanam pitaro narsimha natasya chagada mudanmati majjatono taptasya tat pratividir ihanja shreshtas tavad vibho tanuvrutam tadupekshitanam. Even a mother, father cannot protect the child. All parents can understand this fact. How much ever you try, they cannot. We have seen a few weeks back, one of the devotees' child, he left his body at the age of 1 month. Father and mother cannot protect. It's a very sad to hear that, but it's a truth. No one can protect any one of us. Even insurance cannot protect us. But Krishna is promising, Name Bhakta Pranashyati. My devotees will never perish. Is it not something wonderful? So we should, in our human form of life only, we can understand this message and try to dedicate our life to become a devotee of Lord Krishna. And becoming a devotee of Lord Krishna doesn't mean we have to leave everything and go to Himalayas and have a big bed and then, not like that. Even Arjuna wants to, give an excuse, oh Krishna, I don't want to fight. And I will go to jungle and I will beg. Even though I am a Kshatriya, I will be beg and simply live my life. But Krishna said, you fool, I want you to fight, but you want to escape. You see, generally people understand Bhagavad Gita means you have to leave everything and become a renunciate, and so that is not the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. So that's why we have so many misconceptions about spirituality, about the soul, about our existence. So many misconceptions, so many confusion. So that's why we need a right teacher. That we all came in touch with Srila Prabhupada. So we need a right teacher to understand this message of Bhagavad Gita. So you see every word, Achyuta, usage of Achyuta is very, very significant. He is saying that even though I am ordering you, you take my chariot in between, but you are fulfilling your promise. It's not that I am ordering you. Because you never fail to fulfill your promise, you please take this chariot in between. Ratam stapame Achyuta. So you see how each word is a very, very significant. You see, there is a one South Indian Brahmana pastime happens when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. He travels to South India. He came to Srirangam. He came to here also, Srirangam. And then exactly, this is the scene. There was one Brahmana who is an illiterate. By the order of his spiritual master, he is reading this Bhagavad Gita and he was crying. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw, why are you crying? Everyone used to kid him. Oh, he is illiterate and is reading Bhagavad Gita. What kind of this Brahmana he is? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood. It's not something showing off. He is reading, and because he is reading properly, he is able to cry. Why is crying? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked. Why are you crying? He said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when I see Krishna, who is God, who is full in all six opulences, unlimited in all six opulences, of course unlimited in unlimited opulences, so but that person, he came as a chariot driver to Arjuna, an insignificant jiva like one of us. Of course he is a nitya, is a eternal associate of the Lord Krishna, but he is in a jiva category only. When I try to meditate this, when I see this God becoming controlled by Arjuna, immediately I start crying. So exactly this shloka what we are discussing is saying Arjuna is ordering. What is ordering? Senayor ubayor madhye ratam stapayame achyuta. Oh Arjuna, please take my chariot in between the battlefields. So if we really think about this shloka and think about this picture, we don't even understand the significance of this picture. Like if I ask, say Ambani, who's richest person, ask him to serve one of his employee, no, he says, why I have to serve? For him, so many BMWs are waiting for him to serve. But Krishna, who is a Ishvara Parama Krishna Sacchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam, who is the cause of all the causes, who is the absolute truth, who is the Param Satya, and he is coming, descending just to serve his devotees. Is it not something amazing? So when Arjuna is saying the word, that's why different names of Krishna are used in this first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. That's why key to understand Bhagavad Gita is Krishna, and that's why we chant holy names before even learning Bhagavad. That's why we had a kirtan in beginning. So because without Krishna's holy names, we can never understand Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada is saying in this purport directly, Krishna never fails in his affection for his devotees. Thus is addressed herein as infallible. You see, husband may fail in his affection for his wife, and wife may fail in her affection for husband, and father and mother may fail in affection for children, and children may fail, and is all visible. Is it not? Parents, in the womb only they are killing the child. Where is the affection for the child? And frankly to say, in Bangalore, even if they deliver the child, they immediately send the children to play school, and mother will go to the office, and child will cry, mother, mother. Where is the affection? You may say I am keeping her, but for the child, the most important person is mother. I know we have even now she is after mother. It's very painful. And when the father and mother becomes old, children abandons them. Is it not? Orphan, old age homes. This is the reason. But Krishna is saying he never fails in his affection for his devotees. You see, Lord Rama, when that Jatayu leaves his body, he did Antya Samskara for an animal. For an animal, he did Antya Samskara as if he's a son. Even there is, in South India, there is one temple. Even now, Lord goes to perform samskara for one of his devotees. You see, Lord never fails in his affection for his devotees. But I may fail as a husband, I may fail as a father, I may fail as an employee. But Krishna never fails. That's what Prabhupada is saying. That's the Prabhupada purports are very, very beautiful. So, yeah. And what is the thing is, he takes great pleasure. See, the thing is, if someone orders me, what happens immediately? A servant feels pain because he has to get the money. He feels that obliged to serve the master. Sometimes very, very painful. Like sometimes we have one of the maids stays near our home. She is little in a poor condition, and she stays in lower part of the apartment, and she serves in one of the person's home, and they have a dog. And she expressed her agony to us. She said that, and I have to clean the toilet, the stool of the dog. Owner, they don't do anything, and the maid has to do, and they're paying for that. And she's bechara, she can't do anything. She's out of her obligation because she need money. She's doing that. But when Arjuna is ordering, Krishna is not crying, why are you ordering me? He is deriving great transcendental pleasure to serve his devotees. You see, that's why the relationship between Krishna and his devotees is very, very sweet. It's not something mythological that has happened some years back. Mythological means that has not happened, of course. So that's why please don't address these books as a mythological books. It's very painful to see. Krishna as a person is very sweet, and he is exchanging his sweet pastimes, his relationship with his devotees. We can also have relationship with Krishna. Is not only Vigraha there. We have a relationship. I said, Mamai Vamsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. I have a relationship with Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed, I can have relationship with Krishna in 5 rasas. Madhurya, Vatsalya, Sakya, Dhasya. We can have in all these relationships. So that's why Vedic literatures are very profound. It's not only saying God as a controller, but God as a person, He also eager to serve His devotees. So we are missing in our life. We are not learning these literatures, reading these literatures. We are missing something in our life. There is so much to learn. Everything about the questions what our people face, whether be it the existence of the cosmos, how cosmos came, and how life came, what is the basic building block of the life, the cosmos, everything is given in these literatures. So we just have to take some time. That's why this book is called, this is not something story, this is a science of self realization. It's a science. What is meant by science? Science is applicable everywhere, wherever you go, irrespective of the world. This science is applicable all over the universe, not only in one universe, unlimited universes. We don't have such a science where it is, even if you say I work in a semiconductor industry, whatever that electronic flow is there, it is only constant in a certain temperature range. Above the temperature, beyond below the temperature, the nature of the electronic flow is completely different. That's why manual has a temperature range. The characteristics of the electron will change immediately. But this Bhagavad Gita is a science, it's applicable irrespective of wherever you are, whether you are an American, Indian, Hindu, Muslim, Christian. So that's why this Bhagavad Gita is very popular. It is translated in all the languages, even in Arabic, Farsi, Iran, so many, even Muslim, Hindu, Urdu language also. And we see people are taking. Why? We don't talk about Hindu word in this book. We talk about the soul. We talk about Krishna. And Krishna is a God, has a relationship with the living entity Atma. And 5 aspects: Kala, Karma, Prakriti, Jiva, and Ishvara. All 5 things. This is the so very nicely, this is given in 5 concepts are given. If you understand this, all the answers to your questions will be answered. So not only that, of course, we are going through a wonderful month. From this last Sunday, we have entered into the month called Kartik. We also call Damodar. Damodar means Dham Udar, where Krishna was bound by the rope. You see, just now we are discussing how Arjuna is ordering Krishna. But there is something wonderful to that. He's only ordering. But here is one person who is binding God. Have you ever seen binding God? So this month we are discussing, we are celebrating this pastime of binding God, and God becomes fearful of his devotee. So there is we recite 2 prayers every day. I will recite for you because these are very beautiful 2 prayers. It says the essence because this is connected to this sloka also. Namamishwaram Sacchidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashodabhiyalokaladavamanam Paramrishtamatyantato Dritya Gopya Rudanta Moho Netra Yugmamrujantam Parambuja Yugmena Satanka Netram Mushwasakampa Trirekanka Kanta Sitagraivam Damodaram Bhaktivadam. So Krishna made a mistake. You can ask, God also makes mistakes? This is the beauty of these literatures. God also makes mistakes. But he makes very sweet mistakes. Why? He makes sweet mistakes to give pleasure to his devotees. What mistake Krishna has done? God has done. We think that God means perfect. Yes, obviously is perfect. But the same perfect person descends to commit some mistakes. This is interesting, right? What is the mistake Krishna has performed? When Mother Yashoda, while giving breast milk to his son, you can also ask question, Krishna also has parents? God also has parents? Yes, this is interesting. God also has parents. Even though he is the cause of all causes, but he also has parents. Who are his parents? Not. He chooses his devotees to become his parents like Nanda Baba, Yashoda Maya. They are his pure devotees. Krishna chose them as his parents. And one time when Mother Yashoda is giving milk to Krishna, and immediately what happened in the kitchen? That burning smell came. I don't know how many of you know cooking, but woman who is expert, she can understand by smelling. It was burning, started burning as a flowing. It's a flow happened. So and what happened immediately? Mother Yashoda, she kept Krishna aside and then she ran to take the milk. And Krishna became angry. Oh, you without giving me milk, you left me aside and then went to kitchen. And he immediately that butter pot was he took the butter and then he break the pot and then he left because he's fearful now. Okay, he broke the pot, but he also became fearful. Why? He became fearful of his mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda will beat me. You see, this is the concept. God also becomes fearful of not anyone. He becomes fearful of his devotees. Of course, that pastime goes, and then Mother Yashoda runs after Krishna, and then she chases, and then finally catches Krishna. You see, Pantastu Koti Shatavatsara Sampragamya. So many rishis and saintly persons, they are meditating Krishna, meditating on the lotus feet of Krishna for many, many lifetimes, but still they are not able to catch Krishna. There's one nice pastime in Krishna book, Kala Yavana. He's feeling that he's able to catch Krishna, but he's not able to catch Krishna. But the same Krishna was being caught by Mother Yashoda. You see, if you want to catch God, this is a secret. If you want to catch God, what we should do? We should become the pure devotee of God. Then you can catch God. You see, everyone will say, "Can you show God? Can you show God?" But and with audacity we say, but first of all, please ask, what is your qualification to see God? Have you seen Narendra Modi so far? Maybe you have seen in the television, but what is the guarantee you have seen? So with audacity we say, can you show God? I have not seen God, I will not accept God. But here you see how to see the God. If you want to see God, catch God, be like Mother Yashoda, be a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Then for sure you can not only see God, you can bind God, and God will be ready. Oh, he is my devotee. Please bind. So that's an interesting pastimes. We are celebrating that this entire month to remember that pastime. So what I am trying to say is Krishna is ready to be ordered by his devotees, and Krishna is ready to be controlled by his devotees. God is ready to be controlled by his devotees, and not only controlled, he is ready to be bound. So you understand what is meant by binding, right? Binding means now, just like doll, I can bind and I can do whatever I want with the doll. So like that. So if it's not only about seeing God, you can even control God. You do this, you do that. And Krishna he said, Rudanta Muhur Netram Yugma Murjantam. He's crying as a small child and rubbing, and then that Kajal is coming. It's very, Krishna is very beautiful, and this incident is narrated by a poet, and very is a devotee of Lord Krishna. And then Krishna's face is very, very beautiful. Even though he's crying, he's very, very beautiful. So, Yad Bibeti Swayam Bhayam. Even the great demigods like Yamaraj also becomes fearful of Lord Krishna. But the same Lord Krishna who is a god, he becomes fearful of Mother Yashoda. So this is something interesting. So our Vedic literature not only talk the concept of God as a controller, God as a sweet person. People think that in many of the films and the serials they show, first of all, they don't accept God. Even if they accept the God, they say God as a Nirakara Brahman, is a Jyoti, and person merging into Jyoti. This is utter nonsense. God is a person. Please remember these two things. God, we are fallible, God is infallible, and God is a person. Okay? So Arjuna asked Krishna to take him in the battlefield, and so many things are there, and Arjuna don't want to fight actually. Why? He's seeing his family members, and the rest of the chapters is for this purpose, to convince Arjuna, you please fight. So Arjuna is a sadhu, is a saintly person. Even though he is a kshatriya, he has a great heart. So finally the conclusion is, so one should become a devotee of Lord Krishna, and devotee's protection is guaranteed. Okay, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If anyone of you have any questions, you can please ask me offline. I will be available here only. Thank you.